Oh, Mrs. Garcia, how do you balance it all? You're a school counselor and new homeowner, a mother of two, and grad student. You're an ander. At National University, we see the whole you. That's why we're dedicated to your professional growth through faculty mentorships and career support, so you can focus on what matters most. National University, supporting the whole you. Learn more at nu.edu.
This is the Sports Gambling Podcast live on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Here are your hosts, Sean Green and Ryan Kramer. I can't believe we're letting these guys on my network.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast live here on VSiN. I'm Sean Sack of the Money Green with my partner in picks, Ryan Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
What a Friday night, Sean.
It is a great start to the Friday night, especially if you tailed our play on a former guest of the show here on VSiN. We had him in the Circus Studios, not I think like 3 weeks ago, Ryan?
Yep. Fresh off a steak.
Yes, he had just hit up Barry's and then was gracious enough to pop by our studio, chop it up, talk about the fight against Garcia, and we looked him square in the eye and said, "Rolly, if you get this win," because we are going to bet on you, Ryan. We have a rule here on the Sports Gambling Podcast. If professional athletes come on the show, we instantly become huge fans of them and we instantly bet on them. RIP Justin Steele Cy Young Award. But Rolly got it done. One indecision against Ryan Garcia. He was 7-1, 6-1, depending on when you got it, to win the fight. And then Kramer, you were saying to win by decision was 25-1. I thought, and I bet on him just to win because the knockout price wasn't even that much bigger. My thought was, oh, okay, and there's these big dogs sometimes. I'm not accusing anyone, but the boxes get a little funny with the judging.
He so did tell us his strategy was going to be punch him in the face until he knocks him out.
Yeah, it was funny talking strategy, trying to pretend like I was a inside fight mind. It had some great angles. I'm like, yeah, you did this. I did a lot of research, but then he was just basically, I'm going to punch the guy as hard as I can in the head.
Which he did. He knocked him down.
Well, and I thought, again, just, TMZ boxing handicap. I'm by no means a boxing sharp, but my take was, well, one, Rolly's cool. He came on the show, so instantly I'm going to become a fan, but Garcia had, previous wins came with somewhat of an asterisk where he was then busted for, performance enhancing drugs. And there was a lot of speculation of really what kind of shape, what peak is he going to be in? It was an incredibly long layoff. If you followed any sort of the TMZ headlines, he's all over the news and everything else. He seemed like he wasn't as locked in as our buddy Rolly, who we talked to, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't gamble. It's basically all he does is eat steaks and beat dudes up, which is the formula for a winning boxer. So shout out to you, Rolly. And this is an important message to anyone watching this show, whether it be a title fight, a prize fighter, MLB star, NBA star. If you come on the show, great things will happen to you. So just putting it out there. If you come on Sports Gambling Podcast live on VSiN, so far we're 1-0 with a plus 600. We'll give ourselves a plus 700 with Rolly Romero. Nice win for the show, and congrats to Rolly.
We do. If you want to extend it to the podcast, Sean, we do have multiple spring championships in our belt with our boy Shark Dog. So, shout out to Shark Dog.
To the UFL. I'm sure everyone's looking for a live UFL update.
Yes, update everyone.
Please. We will be talking UFL later on in the show. We will be talking Kentucky Derby coming up next segment. We got CJ Sullivan talking UFL, talking Kentucky Derby prop bets. Ooh. Sports betting blackjack. We do have now post draft adds a little bit of fun there. The make miss playoff market is out. We'll be breaking that down. And of course, Scott Reichel in the 1 a.m. East hour talking NBA picks for Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. We got some potential series, the second series going, and then Rockets Warriors live right now. Rockets up for 86-80. Sorry, up to 3 now, 86 83. Warriors hanging around. I got the Warriors laying the points, but it has gone final, Ryan. The Battlehawks 12, Renegades 6. So another win for me and another loss for the Spring King.
Tough game for the Spring King. St. Louis is back. They said there were 27,000 people in attendance.
Yes.
For a spring football game.
Yeah. I mean, and it's always funny going off on my my spring football takes, but I said St. Louis at home.
It's fair.
You always have to take them, and I almost took Arlington. I'm glad I stuck to my guns there and stuck with the St. Louis Battlehawks. But we got an entire segment dedicated to the United Football League. Ryan, any more? Well, any big picture NBA playoff thoughts? We just did a podcast earlier today talking a little bit about the round 2, some of these games coming up. Do you think now it's end of the third, 86-84? Do the Warriors get it done? Do they get the cover? I think I got it at 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the Warriors by 1 to 10.
Oh, for this game,
I saw
market.
Oh yeah, I saw Steph doing a couple shimmies there. It does seem like they're going to get it done. The crowd's got the pop. Yeah, I mean, and big takeaways from the NBA: unserious league. You see, LeBron's hurt now.
Did see
another postseason injury pops up? How does this keep happening?
Guy has no luck with postseason injuries. Well, that's a great point. I mean, Lakers get eliminated. People are saying, "Oh, maybe this is LeBron's last year."
No.
I'm not.
Well, that's a funny joke.
I'm not the first person to say this. I think there's a lot of people on social media share the sentiment that if LeBron is going out, you are going to get a fair warning. You are going to get a announcement about this being his last season and the LeBron farewell tour where he goes to all the cities. There's going to be a lot of pomp and circumstance around the LeBron James. I mean, I would die laughing if LeBron James just put out a tweet and said, "I'm retiring," and went completely out of the spotlight. But it doesn't seem like that's how he does.
Do you remember Derek Jeter's farewell tour?
Yes.
2014.
He was giving him different gifts.
You don't think LeBron is going to do that? Are you kidding me? There's going to be national royalty showing up. He'll probably show up at the premiere of Canada, I'm sure, to give him a gift. LeBron is definitely going to let you know.
Well, and who
that peak emoji?
Who retires first, Ryan? LeBron or Bronny?
Ooh,
that is a good.
Well, I think they're going to want to do a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
Why
first
not
father son ever to retire in the same day?
To retire together. I mean, we know they're at least going to play together until Bryce shows up, right? The better son.
Yeah. I maybe they can stick around. I love how the Lakers are just turning into like a family reunion pickup game at some point.
Well, and as a parent, as much as you can say that you're behind all your kids the same, LeBron is he understands that Bryce has a little bit more talent.
Yeah, he
might not even need to force a team to draft Bryce.
He is a GM according to some. And they asked him, like, what does this team need? And he said, well, the last Anthony Davis responded of what the team needed, and they traded him. So
they literally needed Anthony Davis.
Yeah, they need a big guy. Now maybe they can trade for Anthony Davis again.
This is why the NBA is unserious, because it's all about the trades. Let's talk about the trade. I saw the hot take machines talking about how the window is closing for the Celtics because they're going to trade everyone after the season. Well, they're in the middle of a run to go win another championship.
They won the championship.
What are we talking about?
They haven't really shown any weakness. Yeah, they beat the Magic 4-1, but they were pretty in control of that series the entire time.
Daytime talk show, daytime soap operas. That's what the NBA is. It's men's soap opera.
Right.
Like sands through the
National Basketball Association.
So are the days of our league.
Will LeBron return? How injured was he? What's going on with Tyrese Halliburton's dad yelling at Giannis while also being on the court? Will the Lakers also trade for Giannis? It is funny because half the head, almost like 90% of the headlines don't end up being about the game itself, and they're actually for round one. I think there's been some pretty good series. This Clippers Nuggets series has been very good. We got a game 7 coming up in Denver. We'll talk about with Scott Reichel later on in the show. We got this Rockets Warriors series is pretty good. Rockets now up 5. I think the Warriors get it done and close it out here. But if not, that's going to be a fun game 7. So there actually have been some good games and some good matchups.
You bring up a great point, though. After LeBron confronted Stephen A for talking out of line about his kid, he might respect what Tyrese Halliburton's dad did. He might say, that's the kind of character I want on my squad. And maybe he looks to get Halliburton so he can bring his dad in.
Oh, okay.
And build a real super team of sports dads.
Dad super team.
LeBron, like Tyrese Halliburton's dad. Get a ball on the team. That would really make the trifecta.
Other big news, and we will cover it later on in the program. We have a segment you can bet on that. Where we break down the weirdest, there's our buddies down near the equator like to get creative when it comes to some prop bets. Ryan, there are Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson, I think is the name of his girlfriend. What is to me, and I'm sure everyone has seen the video of her stepping in the interview. There's all these just a weirdness so that she's very overbearing of Bill Belichick. And I saw had a post where they go, for a guy whose entire thing was, hey, no BS, do your job, blah, blah, blah. It's funny to see. I mean, he hasn't coached one game, and the story surrounding UNC and his transition to college football is anything but college football.
Yeah, it's interesting. I almost don't want to comment on it.
Okay.
It's very hot situation. I don't want the wrong crowd
Too
to
hot
take
for
it
TV?
the wrong. I mean, look, it's reached a point where you almost feel concerned and you want to pick up the phone and make a call. So something feels. Are you blink, Mr. Belichick?
Yeah, I have no idea what
he seems happy.
Yeah, he does. Seems happy. But we'll break it down. There's some fun prop bets we'll get to later on the show. But coming up next, the Derby, 151st annual running of the Kentucky Derby. When we return, Sports Gambling Podcast live on VSiN.
Oh, Mrs. Garcia, how do you balance it all? You're a school counselor and new homeowner, a mother of 2, and grad student. You're an Ander. At National University, we see the whole you. That's why we're dedicated to your professional growth through faculty mentorships and career support, so you can focus on what matters most. National University, supporting the whole you. Learn more at nu.edu.
This is the Sports Gambling Podcast live on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back, everyone. Sports Gambling Podcast live. Sean, Stacking Money Green with my partner in picks. Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Nothing like betting on the ponies. Most people would not guess that we have an 8TV setup in our small office studio here in Eagle Rock, California. But we also have one of those TVs 100% of the time dedicated to horses.
Yes. And the great thing about 8TVs, you're hanging out in California. Oh, I want to get down maybe some day baseball. What am I going to do? I can't access my Circa account because I'm in California. Well, God bless Profit X. Perfect for baseball fans. Profit X offering the best odds all season long. And it's awesome because it's an exchange, and do the math. Without someone charging the VIG, you get better odds, best odds on average by 10 to 20%, which if you're playing baseball every day, that really adds up. I came up with a system where I was just going to bet against the Rockies every single game. I started it 3 games ago. They lost. And then even though they're horrible, they won back-to-back games. So I got to come up with a new baseball system, but luckily I'm not getting killed by the juice because I'm using Profit X. Download Profit X today, use the code VSiN and earn up to $200 in profit cash over your first month. Joining us on the line, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You know him, you love him. He is the host of the notorious OTB podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, the Wolf of Oak Lawn himself. Wolf, what's happening? Happy Kentucky Derby.
Hey, happy Kentucky Derby week to you. We had a fantastic day of racing today with the Kentucky Oaks. We got a little drama with the rain. We've got some big scratches, so there's plenty to talk about for Kentucky Derby week.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the actual Derby race itself, but I know you got plays for race 4, 5, 11 through 12. What is your besides the Derby itself? What is one of your favorite plays?
I think one of my strongest opinions for a big price this weekend comes out of the 4th race, the Nixco Overnight Stakes. It's a 1 mile race on the dirt. It's restricted to just a certain number of entries. Basically, they have a shorter period to do it. There's a horse that I really like in this with the number 5, King Cat at 12-1. King Cat has been running really well at Oaklawn Park, and I think really kind of steps up into a good spot here. Has the pace set up, and if this thing does come up wet, like it looks like it's probably going to, I think that we've got enough off track form for this horse to get in at a big price.
Yeah, love it. And what do you see King Cat currently listed at, or what do you think she'll go off at?
So these smaller races, they don't really do like the advanced wagering, but I would venture to say that you're going to get every bit of that 12-1, if not a little bit more, because there's a strong favorite here for Brad Cox, Liberal Arts, who just had his horse Good Cheer absolutely romp in the Kentucky Oaks. He always wins everything that's not nailed down at Louisville. So Liberal Arts is going to take a good bit of money. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that price on King Cat actually float up closer to post time.
And real quick on the potential of the track, I did see the Wolf posted some commentary of what we could be receiving tomorrow. A quote: "They could get a crazy seal, and it could be quicker than greased owl poo, or it could get super cuppy and peanut buttery."
I mean, we're describing mud and dirt. I love that's what's great about horse racing. I love all the terms. Every single time we have the Wolf on our show, I'm learning something more, Ryan.
It's a different language.
It really is. The cupping, all the terms. It's a wild world there. All right, Wolf, let's talk Derby itself. Get to a little bit of news here. Rodriguez, the number 4 horse, who your co-host Barry the Sniper Spears, he really liked the 4 horse. Was tagging a lot of stuff to it, putting it on top. Ryan, that's
Baffert revenge spot.
Baffert revenge game, which I love the angle. But now Rodriguez is a scratch. Does that change anything for your plays? Is there a replacement play for Rodriguez? How say you now that the 4 horse is out?
You know, in addition to Rodriguez, we actually had another scratch come through with the number 10 Grande. That's also going to take out a little bit of extra speed from this early pace. Rodriguez was going to be an early pace presence. Grande was going to be up close. So it kind of slows down the pace a little bit. But now you have the extra factor of the track and what it's going to be doing. It could carry early speed really well, or you could see closers really kind of be able to make up the ground. That's where the whole peanut butter cuppy thing comes in, because it kind of sucks down on their hooves and it keeps them from running.
I'm a big Reese's guy. You're talking peanut butter cups. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. But it kind of takes some of the speed out of it. And what I end up doing is I have a horse that's got a little bit of early speed that I'm going to be using underneath, and I think might be worth a little bit of a flyer as a win bet. And that's the number 12 East Avenue, who's going to be the speed of speed, who should probably be out on the front. Say that horse catches a sealed fast, track, he might just, run away from everybody on the front. It's going to be tough, but it's a non-zero chance. So I think that's really, to me, the big change that the scratch has put into it.
Now, one of the horses, let's talk about the number 3 horse, Final Gambit. What's your take on Final Gambit? You think this horse is live?
Yeah, I absolutely think this horse is live. This one's got a little bit of steam behind it. If you were to take a look at the advanced wagering pools for the Kentucky Derby, those odds have been halved. We're down to about 15-1 right now. The horse is coming off of the synthetic, and I really believe that Synthetic can kind of mimic a wet track a little bit in the sense that horses that run well on synthetic can sometimes run well on a wet track. He's going to be up against it a little bit because we need the pace to develop, which, like we said, was kind of like a hamstrung a little bit early. But the pace could still totally develop, and I'm still very much on Final Gambit. I've done like 15 things now this week. I can't switch at this point. It's Final Gambit. We are all in at this point.
Yes, Final Gambit in the futures odds maybe as high as 30-1, but like Chase is saying, maybe actually play this in the futures odd, because you said it's catching some steam. So if you play it in the pari-mutuel, where the odds obviously adjust right up to the race time, you might be getting a better value there playing it as a future instead of just playing it there as the normal pari-mutuel. All right, so I know you like Gambit there as kind of a long shot. Who, Wolf of Oaklawn from the Notorious OTB podcast, who is your pick to win the 151st Kentucky Derby?
I've been saying it. I'm going to stick with it. It's the number 14 Tistastic, who actually, given the advanced wagering, is now a longer shot than Final Gambit because it's only ticked down to about 18-1. Steven Asmussen has never won his Kentucky Derby, despite being the most winningest trainer in North American history. This one feels like it's flying under the radar. The performance in the Louisiana Derby was really just, I think, a jumping off point to something special. So I'm going to play Tistastic to win because always get the money first. Make sure you win bet. And then I'm going to play a part wheel exacta where I use 2 horses in first. My 2 overlays I like, the 3 Final Gambit, 14 Tistastic. And then we're going to include the 8 and 12 in second place, along with Tistastic and Final Gambit. 8 is the favorite journalism, and the 12 is that speed horse we discussed, East Avenue.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm tailing you with Tistastic to win, Final Gambit to win as well, and then we have a Ryan. A fan who is maybe pretty intoxicated told us, I got a secret. You got to get down on American Promise. So I did throw a couple bucks on that as well. Kramer, what's your Derby profile looking?
I've also spent some time in the office today, and I was watching a lot of interviews with Lonnie Briley. Okay. If you're not familiar, he's the 72-year-old trainer of Coal Battle.
Yeah,
I have to bet. This horse will go in all my trifectas, some super fact. This is an absolute firecracker.
Coal Battle does seem like the horse nobody believes in.
You want to talk about someone that could get nixed from Churchill Downs, a la who did we just see get kicked out of the basketball? Blanking on his name, Pacers' dad.
Oh,
Halliburton's dad. We could see a hot trainer here. I could see a couple too many of those cocktails. Anyway, yeah, Coal Battle. And why not just take him to win too, just for fun? Be a good story. So and I will say one more. Yes. Sandman. Metallica's playing a concert in Blacksburg right now. I believe this weekend. Part of Metallica's in Churchill Downs. Come on, I got to get a little of that too. So Sandman's on my card too. In the exotics, Coal Battle and Sandman with Tistastic. And then, as you said, we have the American Promise future, which tips never work. Tips never win, but we got
maybe
it.
They will. Maybe they will. So Wolf, he likes Keen Cat for the race 4, and of course Tistastic to take home the Kentucky Derby race 12. Make sure you check out the Notorious OTB podcast, daily horse racing picks. That's right.
You know I'm a degenerate.
It is perfect for this audience. Wolf, appreciate you hopping on, and best of luck with the race.
Thanks a lot, guys. Let it ride.
Yes, let it ride. When we return, NFL Rookie of the Year odds. Let's go.
Sin, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back, everyone. Sports Gambling Podcast Live. Sean, stacking the money green with a partner in picks. Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Back to football.
Yes, back to football. But reminder, we just talked Kentucky Derby, and a perfect reminder, if you haven't already downloaded it, what are you waiting for? Go to vsin.com/subscribe and get you the Kentucky Derby betting guide. Has everything you need to know to get you started there. And Also, yeah, you get a discounted subscription there. But yeah, the VSiN Kentucky Derby guide, breakdown on how to bet on horse racing, great for beginners. Detailed previews of both the Kentucky Derby and the Oaks, which check that out. Start today for just $9.99 and get your first 30 days of VSiN Pro, including the Derby guide, daily best bets, exclusive betting splits, and more. VSiN.com/subscribe. Kramer.
Yes.
We're talking rookie of the year, right? We know these rookies, they got drafted.
Yep. Some of them got drafted in the first round. Some of them got drafted in the second round. Most of the ones we're going to be talking about here, maybe a couple in the third round. And then Shedeur Sanders got drafted in the fifth round. So offensive rookie of the year, different than most years, I would say. Not different than most, but when you look at the history of this award, you kind of start with the quarterback, and then was there a receiver, a running back, someone who plays a skill position who's having just an absolute banger of a year? Think Garrett Wilson, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley back a couple years.
Yeah.
But I do think you have to kind of start with the quarterbacks, because the easiest path to winning this award is what Jaden Daniels did last year. Getting dropped into a team that wasn't that good and being the reason that team has turned around.
Well, and even I think Bo Nix, because he was a rookie quarterback, started all the games, probably would have won rookie of the year in a lot of other years had it not been for Jaden Daniels just having this amazing year. So I think to me, the easiest is you're a rookie quarterback and you get your team into the playoffs.
Last year is probably a good way to look at it, because you had arguably 3, maybe 4. I mean, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors had very good years. Brock Bowers had an amazing year, and you had 2 quarterbacks basically bring franchises to playoffs who hadn't been to the playoffs for a while. So, but you see how they ranked.
Yeah,
you see the way the vote ranked out, and it went quarterbacks first, and then the skill position guys. So yeah, I mean, where do you want to start with then? Because on the podcast we always like to review these markets, go top to or go bottom to top, and just review every player on the board. But it sounds like we should look at some of the quarterbacks maybe further down the board.
Well, I mean, I'll start with this one. I think, and it's rare to see a 70-1 hit in offensive rookie of the year market, but Will Howard has a decent situation. What is Will Howard's path to becoming the starting quarterback? It's not that crazy, right? It's Aaron Rodgers not signing with the Steelers, which God knows what's going to happen to him.
He doesn't have a timeline, Sean.
Or Aaron Rodgers does sign and gets injured. He's old.
Whoa. How dare you?
You think he's a lock to start 17 games for the Steelers?
No
way.
I think honestly right now I'd say retirement is the favorite.
Yeah, and whatever. He's going on his quests or whatever. But Will Howard, dropping him in, George Pickens, DK Metcalf, good running game, okay offensive line, Freiermuth, and they do enough on offense. Steelers defense comes around. Will Howard at 70-1 to win offensive rookie of the year. Maybe Tomlin's always good to get you above 500. And if you're a starting quarterback for the entire year as a rookie and you're above 500 and you're getting into the playoffs, which Tomlin always does, I think it's 70-1. That's a pretty fun.
This has been bet down a little bit.
Okay,
I'm seeing 45-1 now, but I mean, certainly I like the. I mean,
yeah.
For reference, he's in some of the markets. He's sitting right next to Shedeur Sanders in terms of odds to win the award. Pretty easy to see his path being a little closer to starter. That might be considered too much of a long shot, Sean. Some people might say, well, hard to win an award like this. You're all the way down the board, but you nailed it because they're gonna win games.
Yeah.
And the trouble I have with this one, I'm with you, is I wonder if they would not give him the credit like they might give some of these other players in other situations. And shout out to the man in the box because he was all over this one. But the Tyler Shuck angle, I mean, that's one where he's actually favored to be the week 1 starter. He's an old ass guy anyway. He's ready for the moment, and he's the guy that they went and got. They didn't trade up for him. They said, this is the guy we're going to go get. We're not going to get tricked into Shedeur in the first round or the second round. And again, having a price where, unlike Will Howard, he hasn't really come down a ton. In fact, you can find some 25 to ones out there on Tyler Shuck now. And sticking with the quarterback, the obvious long shot to me is the Jalen Milroe angle, because again, you highlighted the reasons why Aaron Rodgers might not play. Sam Darnold, maybe something happens, maybe not. Even if Jalen Milroe comes in and is electric, you have the highlight playmaker aspect of what could potentially win the award, because then you enter some skill position. You get some of that skill position fantasy buzz as well. So yeah, I don't think there's any other quarterbacks. We're not talking Cam Ward at chalk.
Cam Ward is what, plus 330. I want no part of Cam Ward. I mean, they could be okay, but as someone who believed in the Titans a lot last year coming into the season with the new coach, etc., Will Levis was a complete disaster, and I the Titans are certainly hoping that Cam Ward is a better prospect and you get better results, but I don't like that at plus 330. And then Ashton Jeanty at plus 230. Yeah, I get the situation. He's going to get a ton of carries. He's the lead back there for the Raiders. It's a Chip Kelly offense. You expect him to have a ton of production, but also it's still a running back on an offense that might not score a lot of touchdowns.
Now, what if the quarterbacks aren't that good? So there's only one quarterback in like the top, 10 odds.
Yeah, that's why I think taking some dart throws on these quarterbacks like Tyler Shuck, which I agree with.
Was that intentional? Taking dart throws?
Yeah. Well, Jackson.
You won't be playing Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart, 100% staying away from him. One,
me too.
A horrible team that's not going to make the playoffs. Two, he has two veteran quarterbacks ahead of him. Three, for whatever reason, the Giants are in no rush to get their team into the playoffs, and so I don't see them rushing Jackson Dart. Hey, we want to play it slow. This is a slow build. I don't know. I mean, luckily, Dayball isn't in Philadelphia, because he would have been run out of town, last year. So for whatever reason, they have a very long leash, or at least think they have a very long leash.
That's not even worth that take isn't necessary though, because even if he plays 8 games, it's not going to be enough to win the award.
Yeah, his path to starting 17 games or the majority of the season is very low. Now, every once in a while, there's a guy like Brock Purdy who he started like 6 or 7 and almost got there, but that was a bit of an outlier. And but Brian, to your point, I think that would be the Milroe case, right? That Seattle's doing pretty good. At some point, maybe Milroe starts the last 8-9 games. You still need a decent amount.
You need a decent chunk. So we kind of created a case for maybe not taking a quarterback this year as well. Any skill position guys that you would just simply because you're only really needing to fade 1, maybe 2 quarterbacks who are going to have the starting job day 1. And so any of these guys get enough accumulating stats to be interesting. I mean, Omarion Hampton could get a tremendous volume in LA with Harbaugh, but Najee Harris is there. Tet McMillan, T-Mac could be the number 1 in Carolina, but it's Bryce Young and the Panthers offense.
And I do think I didn't play it yet. Maybe I will. A lot of time between now and September, I can see myself talking. If I was to talk myself into someone, it would be Travis Hunter.
Okay,
because this dude is electric. And for the offensive rookie of the year, we're going to talk defensive rookie of the year next segment. It sounds like he's going to be involved in basically playing all the offensive snaps and then maybe doing some defensive stuff. So my thought is that, Travis Hunter at plus 950, one, if he can help Trevor Lawrence out at all. And again, that was kind of my angle in general. I thought the Jags were going to draft a skill position guy. I thought maybe Tyler Warren, because who was available. I overlooked how dumb the Cleveland Browns are to pass on a guy like Travis Hunter. But I mean, Travis Hunter has elite ball skills. Now I know it shouldn't technically count if he plays defense and has a couple interceptions, or maybe he has a pick 6 or something like that. But I think in voters' minds, when you're looking at him, offensive rookie of the year, if he has 80 catches, 6 touchdowns, and a couple interceptions, he's going to get credit for those couple interceptions. So he's the only chalk that I find pretty intriguing. Kramer?
And you can get him to win either award plus 320. I'm with you. I think it's him or Hampton to me that will create enough buzz.
Well, Hampton, I'm a little worried because they have Najee Harris, but we're going to keep the discussion going because we're going to talk about Travis Hunter for defensive rookie of the year and the rest of the defensive rookie of the year class when we return. Sports Gambling Podcast live on VSiN.
Oh, Mrs. Garcia, how do you balance it all? You're a school counselor and new homeowner, a mother of two, and grad student. You're an Ander. At National University, we see the whole you. That's why we're dedicated to your professional growth through faculty mentorships and career support, so you can focus on what matters most. National University, supporting the whole you. Learn more at nu.edu.
This is the Sports Gambling Podcast live on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back, everyone. Sports Gambling Podcast live here on VSiN. Sean second Green with my partner in picks, Ryan Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Remember around this time last year when I secured a Jared Verse defensive rookie of the year ticket? Turned out to be a nice winner.
Yes, we gave that out. Both of us, Ryan, on our early look rookie of the year, offensive and defensive podcast there. And of course, if you're getting down NFL offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, why are you not using your Edge Boost card? Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. I was out in Arizona, Ryan, on a golf trip and getting down on a bunch of apps over there. And of course, I was using my Edge Boost card. I love the cashback rewards. The cashback rewards are great for those long shot, crazy type bets because, hey, it's free and Edge Boost take care of you. No usage fees, no minimums, 100% approval on all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGP. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost will match the deposit. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGP. Kramer, we just talked about the offensive rookies. What about the defensive ones?
Well, I mean, I guess the lesson it would be it's easier to win the award if you can get sacks. The outliers have been, you look back over the last 10, 15 years, you have Jared Verse, Will Anderson, Sauce Gardner. He's an outlier at cornerback. Micah Parsons, Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Shaq Leonard. He's another outlier there at linebacker. Marshawn Lattimore, outlier at cornerback. Joey Bosa, Peters, and then Donald, Sheldon Rich. Basically, we're looking at pass rushers. Unless there is someone who's going to come in and like these cornerbacks did one thing. They played with Sauce Gardner. He was really an outlier of outliers because he just played flat out like an all pro from the get. But in general, you're probably scoring some touchdowns on some pick sixes. You're making some splash plays. You're probably, a dominant force on your defense. So I would say to make the exercise easier, we just look at pass rushers.
Okay. I mean, I think, yeah, I like a cornerback in this class as well, but I also like a pass rusher. So,
but I would say it's much more. The point being, it's much more difficult to win as a non-pass rusher because sacks are the easiest currency.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of these guys don't watch ball and they simply just fire and be like, oh, okay, who had a bunch of sacks? All right, defensive rookie of the year. The cornerback that I do like is Jahadi Barrett. I think he has a chance, and you're seeing him 18-1, 20-1. I love that formula. I'm very optimistic on this Broncos defense. I thought their defense was really pretty good last year. So now what you got going with Jahadi is that Patrick Surtain's on the other side. Or Patrick Surtain is in the defensive backfield along with Barron. So teams may want to avoid throwing at Patrick Surtain, defensive player of the year. That could create some opportunities for Barron. So I think if you as a rookie come in, get you like 5-6 interceptions, I think you're going to be in the mix. Now, to your point, Ryan, I also
does it hurt him that he's playing next to like an all pro that on an established very good defense?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I mean, the Rams defense was pretty good. You go back and look at the defensive rookie of the years. They are usually on good defenses.
Oh yeah, no, I'm pointing out that he's going into a backfield that's very good. Part of the reason Verse won last year is him and his college teammate Fisk come to a defense that had no pass rush. They were going to be relied on to be the pass rush, and it worked. That's all I was. I think just joining like the guy who just won Defensive Player of the Year specifically.
I don't think they'll hold that against him. No.
Okay.
I think, and I think it'll create good matchups for him. And I think teams, if you're dropping back to pass, you would much rather try and pick on the rookie. Like that's traditionally why cornerbacks struggle to win this award, is because teams don't want to throw at them. But you look at a guy like Sauce Gardner in 2022 who won as a cornerback. I think,
well, that's because he didn't get thrown at. He was just elite.
He was elite, and they actually rewarded him. But maybe, like a guy like Lattimore in 2017. So yeah, I will go Bear in there at 18-1. Shop around, you might be able to find the 20-1. But there's another pass rusher that I think we both like.
Yeah, and I think in general, it is harder to get further down the board in this award as well. There is a pedigree aspect to it. It is difficult to win the award coming from outside the first two rounds. And, I'm already kind of starting to realize I'm going to be in on the Bengals this year. I think they're going to be playing with a lot of leads. They go out and draft Shamar Stewart, who is like the tools, he has the traits, could absolutely be a smash spot. Granted, he is, he's got Trey Hendrickson too to help. And just in general, that defense has been so bad. And the problem for Joe Burrow, he could potentially be seen as part of the solution. And I think, is it the hardest thing to be the number 2 pass rusher on a Joe Burrow led team where you're going to have lots of pass rush with a lead for him to get double digits?
Now, Ryan, this is it, because I'm
12-1, just like Jared Verse last.
No, and we're showing odds as high as 18-1.
Oh wow,
so,
okay.
The fact that his odds are the same as Barron's,
that's not right,
makes me like Stewart all that much more. I mean, I like Barron when we broke it down in the podcast because he was 20-1 compared to Stewart at 12-1. Now that they're even, I definitely like Stewart a lot better if they have the same price. I still think Barron is worth a shot here, but I'm with you on liking Stewart. Do you think Trey Hendrickson being on the deal on the roster now? There's talks about maybe trading him, moving him before the season starts. Does that help Shamar Stewart, or does that hurt him?
It's weird. In my mind, it's the opposite of a cornerback. Whereas you're right, it creates more volume on the cornerback side, but I think a secondary is viewed more as a collective unit, whereas pass rushers are always looked at as by themselves. No matter how good the unit is, you can still be a standout guy. And all he has to do is have the counting stats. But yeah, it's beneficial to have a guy so you're not getting double teamed every play.
Yeah, no,
That's
he is
very simple.
If he's going up against if he's not getting double teamed and Hendrickson is, or whatever, they're sliding protection to slow down Hendrickson. And then why would you not want to get Shamar Stewart, especially at this price?
Well, and think of one last thing is look at the favorites, the pedigree guys.
Yeah.
Which one of who is joining a team with a great offense that's going to put them in a lot of obvious pass rush situations?
Well, Jahad Campbell, I think is one of those guys.
Though.
Yeah, but they it sounds like they might use him as edge rusher.
Okay, but he's the kind of guy who's going to have to he's like the Shaq Leonard example where you get some pass rush opportunities, you load up a lot of tackles. That just doesn't strike me as,
and he's dealing with an injury, which if
might
you're
not
a
start
rookie,
the season, right?
Yeah, if you're a rookie, you're coming into camp, you're missing some of the early OTA stuff. You're just kind of behind the 8 ball. Now, I think he might have a decent second half of the season, but I would be surprised if he hits the ground running there early. Travis Hunter at 8-1 for defensive rookie of the year.
No,
to me, the way to play it is offense. I mean, Liam Cohen is an offensive minded guy. He brought him in because he thinks he could be a weapon. Like, I think they will put him out there for some snaps, but he's not going to be, I don't think they're going to play him as an every down starter, at least from what I'm reading. So 8-1, I think is a really bad price. And then Abdul Carter plus 250. I think he's good, but yeah, I don't think he's that much better than the rest of the market. The
Giants were leading. I mean, it's the same kind of thing there where you have other people. You have Dexter Lawrence, you have Thibodeau and Burns. So there will be opportunities for him to get counting stats if the offense can cooperate. And the Giants were leading the league in sacks throughout a good part of the year last year. I just think when you look at the pass rushers outside of the elite of Carter, everyone else, boy, that situation for Stewart just looks better than everyone. I mean, Mike Green, I guess, but we know the voters they don't like a questionable narrative, even though he'll be joining a Ravens pass rush. He could do some damage there. None of the other guys have the offense to go with it. So Stewart is the single shot I'm taking. little buckshot of the shotgun, bang.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to, and you got a new defensive coordinator. You're bringing a little bit of hope for the Bengals. And your point, Ryan, everyone, even the casuals, some of these casuals that are voting for these awards, they know, why did the Bengals not make the playoffs? Because their defense sucked. And now they have a chance to fix that. And if Shamar Stewart is out there making a couple big plays, there's plenty of primetime games for the Bengals. And just think about the potential quarterbacks that Shamar Stewart is going up against in division. Lamar Jackson, yes, he's great, but think about the quarterbacks in Cleveland that he might be facing. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett. I mean, that entire Browns quarterback room is just ripe for strip sacks. And then Mason Rudolph and maybe Will Howard. What's going on over there?
Well, also, just in general, the offensive lines. Even Baltimore, we thought they were going to reinforce the offensive line in the first round. So I would say offensive lines aren't the strength of that division, right?
And Lamar, as good as he is in the regular season, obviously chokes in the playoffs, but he is a guy that will put it on the ground. He's a fumbler, known fumbler.
I like
Lamar Jackson. So the more we talk this out, Ryan, especially that this has gone up to 18-1, I'm laughing, Ryan. I'm seeing a preview of our next guest, the man in the box, talking Derby, talking UFL, all that and much more when we return. Sports Gambling Podcast live on VC.